Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pickdawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Thursday, November 6, 2025. Now, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, including my daily Bank Shot best bet in college hoops, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Thursday in college basketball. First up, we've got Long Island and IU Indy. This one is 6:30 Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, IU Indy is really one of the more volatile teams in Division One right off the bat. We saw their first game of the season, 118 points allowed, but 102 points scored against a tough team in Ohio State on opening night. And, IU Indy is a new look team, new look program with Ben Howlett and head coach. Comes over from Division II. He was with West Liberty, a really good Division II team. They made it to the Elite Eight last year. They're a ranked team this year. So IU Indy, they're a fast-paced team. They're going to force a lot of turnovers, but they're also going to take a lot of fouls like we saw in that first game, 50-plus free throws for Ohio State. They're going to score their fair share of points, but they're also going to be, I think the turnovers will pile up, even though that wasn't really an issue in that first game. I think rebounding is going to be a question mark. Long Island is an experienced team in the NEC. They are projected to win the NEC. A lot of experts consider them the favorite to win the NEC. I think they'll finish right up there in the NEC standings as well. And they're a team that under Rod Strickland, year 3 for him at Long Island, very solid fundamental team last year. Great rebounding team. They forced a lot of turnovers. Strong defensive team, especially on the perimeter, top 53-point defense, but also top 102-point defense. So I think Long Island, even though last year they weren't a great offensive team and they had some issues offensively in night 1 against Notre Dame, they should still have a lot of opportunities in this one against a not great defense for IU Indy. I think we see Long Island look to slow the game down a little bit, but they're not necessarily uncomfortable upping the tempo offensively. And I think that this is IU Indy is going to be a dangerous team to bet against in certain spots because of that volatility, because their offense can go off at any moment. But I think we find enough value because of that first game performance with Long Island in this one. I'm going to take Long Island. I think they should be a steep favorite in this game, but it's right around a pick 'em. So give me the Sharks in this one. Next up, we've got Robert Morris and Drake. This one is 7:30 Eastern on ESPN+. Two teams that we faded the first couple of nights of the season. We took Northern Arizona over Drake plus the points. We won that one. We took Iowa laying the points against Robert Morris and cashed that one as well. But for me, in this matchup with these two teams going against each other, I like Drake. I thought that Drake was in a tough spot night 1 or day 1 against Northern Arizona team that looked pretty solid on paper. And Drake is a new program, a completely new roster, a new system. Thought it was going to take a little while for the Bulldogs to get going, and they weren't the sharpest in the first, I would say, 30 minutes of that game. They found themselves down by double digits in the second half of that game, but they were able to mount a comeback and win that game by 6 points, coming close to covering the spread, but not quite. And I still thought it was definitely a promising showing from Drake. I think that they're in better shape right now compared to Robert Morris, who lost in blowout fashion to Iowa despite shooting 11 of 24 from 3. They made 46% of their threes and 50% of their 2-point field goals, and they still lost by 32 points, giving up 101 in the end. That defense is not in great form. Turnovers, this is I think a huge backcourt advantage for Drake, as we saw 23 turnovers from Robert Morris in that opening game, while Drake only caught the ball 10 times in their matchup, and they were really sharp down the stretch. So I think that the backcourt advantage is gigantic. I think that Drake scores enough here to cover the number. I'm going to roll with Drake and lay the points in this one. Next up, it's Alcorn State and South Alabama. This one is 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Now, Alcorn State against Florida State, the first game, they opened, I think, a 19.5 or 20.5 point dog. That line was bet up in a big way. I think it closed around 28.5, 29.5. It was one of the big spread movers on Tuesday, and even that move wasn't enough, as it was a 32-point win for Florida State, 108-76. And I do think the Braves are going to have some rough performances at the beginning of non-conference play. The SWAC team's very known for playing tough schedules in non-conference play. They've got Florida State, this matchup here on the road. Then you got Minnesota, Maryland, LSU, Oklahoma, Baylor, Iowa State, all these true road games, Ole Miss. So a really tough non-conference schedule that's definitely going to shape Alcorn State for SWAC play. But right now, like I said, I don't really look for too many great performances. I think the offense is okay. We saw him shoot well from three-point range, but another situation similar to Robert Morris, when you make 50% of your threes and lose the game by 32 points, that's a real concern for me, because now what happens when your numbers regress to the mean? I do think it could be an ugly result for Alcorn going forward. And South Alabama is in the wide open Sun Belt. This was the conference we talked about how you look down the projections or the coaches poll, so many different teams were getting first place votes. This is a wide open conference this year. South Alabama is certainly one of the better teams in the Sun Belt. They played well in their first game on the road to Toledo. You could consider this a letdown spot. I think that's very fair. Win that game against a tough MAC team on the road. Now you return home against an inferior opponent. But I still think that South Alabama, really, really solid team, all upperclassmen in their starting lineup. They have the big advantage offensively. I think they'll be able to score enough points. I think the game's going to have enough possessions for them to score enough points to cover the numbers. So I'm going to roll with South Alabama and lay the points. Next up, we've got North Florida and Florida. The Florida Gators laying a lot of points in this one at home. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network. Now, Florida is the big favorite, and you look at North Florida, a program that's had some success in the A-Sun. Just last year, they were a competitive team, even though they ended with a losing record, especially non-conference play. I mean, they opened the season with a win at South Carolina. They had a win at Georgia Tech. They scored a ton of points by the end of the year. They were a top 125 adjusted offensive efficiency team, top 115 three-point shooting team. They were a great offense, but their defense was miserable. This year, that defense should still be a big-time issue without the upside of a potent offense. I think North Florida is the weakest team in an already pretty weak A-Sun in 2025-26. They have not played a game yet. I don't necessarily think of that as too much of a disadvantage, but the fact that Florida's coming off a game against a really tough Arizona team, Florida's already battle-tested. There are already players that played in the championship game last year. Florida is still a big-time contender, even though we faded them in the first game of the season. I look for some great efforts from Florida throughout non-conference and conference play, and with them coming off the loss, having some issues defensively where you thought your front court was the best in the country arguably, and you give up all those points in the paint and all those points via 2-point field goals. I think Florida is definitely going to have a fired up and maybe even frustrated performance at home in this one, where they just lock things down defensively, score enough points at a fast enough pace to cover the spread. So this is a lot of points to lay. And I think this line only grows, so I would probably get it in early, similar to what we've seen in previous games. But I'm going to lay the points with the Florida Gators in this one. And the final game we're to talk about for the Thursday card, it's Northwestern State and North Texas. This one 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. We've seen some great teams from the Mean Green in the last 5-10 years, some postseason runs and some solid records like last year, 14-4 in conference play. Didn't have the results in the conference tournament they were looking for, but had a nice postseason run. And I think that this year the Mean Green are looking okay, but it's a new system here with a new head coach, and I do think that this is just too many points to be laying against a Northwestern State team. They've got a capable offense, and they've got a superstar player, Micah Thomas, who went off in the first game of the season. He had 28 points up against Texas A&M, and overall it wasn't a great showing from Northwestern State in that game, giving up a ton of points. But A&M was red hot from the floor. They were 36% from three, but 11 three-pointers made, 60% from two-point range. I thought fundamentally, though, the fact that Northwestern State was able to earn 10 offensive rebounds against a team known for a strong front court, forced 12 turnovers in that game. It really wasn't that poor of a showing fundamentally. They also had 21 trips to the free throw line. So I think Northwestern State is one of the sneakier good teams in the Southland this year, and I think that this is a tough non-conference schedule. You got North Texas, you already played A&M, you play San Francisco and Grand Canyon on the West Coast on the road. There's a lot of different styles of teams that you're going to be playing. We're going to be able to find some value with Northwestern State in some of these spots, and I think that Rick Cabrera has put together a pretty good lineup this year. And like I said, Thomas could be a Player of the Year candidate in the Southland this year. A guy like that in the backcourt, you can trust him when you're catching a ton of points as a road dog. Those are the types of teams, those are the types of players I'm looking to back. So I'm going to roll with Northwestern State in this one, plus the points on the road. And that's it. Those are the games for Thursday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at Pickdawgz.com, and there is a link in the description. As always, Romanelli, good luck.